Grace and peace and spoiler alert for the movie Whiplash, Best Picture winner. I love J.K. Simmons. I was excited to get around to this movie as it made it into my Netflix queue. And it's the kind of movie that you can't help but interpret and find meaning in. On that subject, I'm the movie pastor. What I do is I'm a pastor. I preach and I lead a church and I watch a lot of movies. That's how I decompress and Sabbath, unload some of that stress. But when I watch movies, I stay a pastor, so I always have theological thoughts about them. So I made this YouTube channel so people can engage and talk about my theological thoughts. This one hit pretty close to home for me. It's a story about a bad teacher, and I spend a lot of my life trying not to be a bad teacher. What are the ways in which pushing students too hard becomes abusive? But it should also be mentioned that it is also about a deeply flawed and sociopathic student who makes his own set of mistakes and is driven to a absolute fault. On a related note, we should, I feel, dig deeper, because you see the abusiveness of the teacher. You may see the student, but if you, I find introspect, and it is a conviction of mine that if a text makes you feel emotions, or maybe even I should use less strong language than that in order to make a stronger point. If you find as you read a text that you are experiencing an emotion, that is part of the text. The text is not only what it makes you think, but also what it makes you feel is what the text means, is a piece of the experience of receiving or reading any text. I do use the word text and use the word reading to talk about engaging in any medium, whether or not that medium is printed words. I hope that's clear to everyone. Anyway, and what we see with Whiplash is an elation at the end, an excitement at the incredible superhuman drum solo that occurs in the movie. A drum solo which, by the way, did not actually occur, right? Like that had to be edited together, and a professional musician had to be brought in, and all sorts of like that wasn't real, but we liked it because we had entered into a world where it seemed real, and it was great. And we loved it, but we cringe at what it took to get there. So we recognize that Simmons' character was bad, that he was abusive, that he went too far, and we want to put that on Simmons, but he makes the point. You know, he says the two most harmful words in the English language are good job, and he talks about, what it takes to be the bird, and what greatness in music requires, and I don't think he's wrong. So here's my hot take from the movie Whiplash. Have we considered that it may be music itself is an abusive teacher? That music itself demands of us greatness in music, world-class musicianship, requires more than it's worth, and that maybe what we should walk away with as a moral from Whiplash is maybe don't be a great musician. Maybe be like an all right musician, right? Like make music, enjoy music, listen to music, sure. Get good enough to play in front of people and to feel confident about yourself, sure. But try to be the best in the world, why? What's that gonna cost you and what's it going to give? And you could say, oh, it'll give the world more excellent music. That's true. But is that worth it? Like if I care about you, right? Like, you know, I don't care. I never knew Jimi before he became world famous Jimi Hendrix. Like, but it seems that the life he led was problematic for him, right? So many musicians are dying. Maybe it's not worth it. And I don't know if Whiplash meant to give that message, but that's what I walked away with. You get the same thing out of Black Swan, right? Like, maybe don't be a first-string ballerina. That's just not worth it. You know, Friday Night Lights, maybe don't try that hard at anything, because at the end, your success is down to a dice roll. Like, it's down to chance, because other people are trying that hard against you. If you're going to dedicate your whole life to something, if you're going to die on a cross, and all of these things are going to ask that of you, they're going to ask your whole life of you to be the best. Make sure it's really worth it. What is your God? What are you going to live and die and eat and breathe and sleep and break up with the girl you like in pursuit of, and what should you do it for? What's really worth all that from you? I am convinced and convicted that the only thing worthy of being a God is God. And therefore, music should serve that. And when it doesn't, people are going to get hurt. I don't know. What do you think? This is a social network. I would love to hear your thoughts on the same issue.
And when in scenes of glory I sing the new song, 'twill be